go and record, and we're doing that. So we're going to go ahead and finish this right now. So what we started last week and what we had worked with was the basically doing the structure. So we talked about laying out the first floor, how to draw the walls, how to place the doors, how to place the windows, how to place dimensions, how to get all those in place. Went over that in deep detail. And also on this floor, we actually also put in some outlets along the wall. So we did that. And then after that, we worked on the next thing with level two. We went to the next thing. We did this right here where we actually defined this out, having the attic stairs. Then we also placed the walls. So we had that in place. So that was good. And then the footing actually was this right here. So we had those right there. So those should be complete right now. Now, here's the thing as you go through this right now. If you go down, you take a look at your project, down here in your project browser, if you double click on East, you should be seeing your elevation, your east elevation. It should look like mine does right here. It should look like that. And then north, and these automatically generate. So they should be coming up pretty much like this, should be. And so then you've got that right there. So those are all in place right there. Now, what we don't have at this point is the wall section. Your wall section is something we're going to work on tonight. We're going to work on that. Now, how do you make a wall section? Well, first of all, let me just kind of tell you something about AutoCAD and Revit. First of all, Revit has been created to do a building information modeling system. That's what it does. It does building information modeling. It's BIM. That being the case, when you're working with any kind of BIM product, and Revit's just one, very often people use them interchangeably, but BIM is kind of like the overall discipline. It's the overall technology. And then Revit is just one of the brands that has a product for that. Revit is far and away the most popular, but it is not necessarily the only one. In the same way, you've got CAD programs. You have many CAD programs. You've got SolidWorks. You've got AutoCAD. You have BricsCAD. You have SketchUp. You've got a lot of different products out there. AutoCAD is the biggest seller of any of them. So that being the case, we have that. Now, here's the thing. When you're working with Revit, Revit will take you a long way towards getting a complete model created, a complete set of construction documents. Because remember, the goal of what we're doing right here is to make construction documents. That's going to be a floor plan. It's going to be elevations. It's going to be a section, a wall section. It's going to be a foundation plan. It's going to be all those things right there. So that's what we're going to be working on here. So as you do that, take a look at what I've got right here. On my screen right there, what I've got is a wall section. Now, the wall section has a lot of detail in here that is not automatically derived from a section that you cut up in AutoCAD. In other words, you actually have to put in detail to make it complete because Revit is set up to give a certain level of detail or level of depth. Okay, and so here's the thing. When we talk about Revit and when we talk about LOD, level of detail or level of depth or level of development, people say it means different things. But if we just say level of development, what that means right here is different products will bring you a certain amount of detail, okay? Now, the numbers start at 100 and they go up to 600, okay? Now, so what you would have is like the most detailed is 600 and the least detailed is 100. Revit is 300 or 350, right around there. So Revit's right in the middle. So Revit is not the most detailed of the products out there. So therefore, because of that, it's very flexible. It does a lot of things well, but you have to create some of your own details in 2D, which is what we're doing right here. So this that you're seeing right there, that could actually be drawn in AutoCAD and imported in. Dirty little secret, AutoCAD is still used when you're working with Revit. It's just the way it is, okay? It's just the way it's always been. So that's the way it still is today. So this is what we have right here. And I've got a couple things I'm going to fix right now because it's some errors here. I got a 2x4 stud. And this right here, insulated, is not where it should be. I'm going to pull this over here so it's like that. So it's not overlapping. And what we're going to do right now is I'm going to pull up my sheet right here. And I've got my sheet here. And I can't show it to you because it's all white and it'll bleed out, you know, because that always happens. So, oh, actually, you guys can see it up there. There's a sweet spot, I guess. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to pull up my previous project. So I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to close all the other views. I'm going to do that. So what I'm going to do is back over to here. I'm going to open up the custom garage Brennan. This is what I worked on last week. So this is what I created. This is what you guys should have had completed up till now. Okay, in other words, it's what we've done so far. So you got your level 1 and it looks like this. Okay, so level 1 looks like that. And then you got level 2, looks like this. You've got your footing that looks like this, and that's what we got so far. And then I also have my elevations. I got my east elevation right here. It's looking like that. And this is mine, and this is what yours will look like without you even doing anything. Okay, so this is how this will work. Okay, now I'm going to show you my sections, my building sections, my wall section, and there is nothing there. Okay, there's nothing there because the section has not been developed, has not been put together yet. So that right there has to be made. So I've got to go ahead and I got to make that. So this is not really going to be doing me any good just yet. So I have to fix this. So let's go over the details about how to make that happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to here, and this is the project that I completed. And this project that I've completed, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at it on the first floor plan. So I take a look at level 1. Now, when I go to level 1 right here, you're going to notice something. That is, I've got all of this information here, just like yours, but I have something extra. Does anyone know what this is right here?
Section view?
Yeah, it's a section view. It's a section indicator. Very good. And so that section indicator right there, that is drawn, and that is what you actually use to start your detail, your wall section detail. Now watch this. If I click on it, it shows me this right here. And this is the only area that's actually being included over in my section. That's it right there. So if I double click on this, if I click on this section right here, if I double click on this, it's going to, let me go over here, double click on this, it's going to do this. And it brings me over to this right now. So that being the case, what I've got to do is I got to go over into mine, and I got to go to level 1, and I have to put in a similar section. Okay, so over in here, I'm going to go back over here to this. I'm going to take a look at my wall section. So where is it? My wall section would be located right there. It's actually facing in this direction, facing from left to right, actually facing to the right. And then it's got this small little field right there, which is all that it's working with. So I'm going to go back over here to my level 1. I'm going to put in my section. So watch how I do this. I'll go up here to my annotate, and under, is it under annotate? No, it's under view. Sorry. You go to view. So you go to view, and under view is where you can get a section. Now check this out. We go to section, and what I want right here is, instead of a building section, I want a wall section. So I want a wall section. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to pull it straight down like I did right here. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Boom, boom, like that. And when I did that, it's not visible because I have it turned off. If it says this, it says none of the created elements are visible in floor plan level 1 view. You may want to check the active view, its parameters and visibility settings, as well as any plan regions and their settings. Okay, so what it's telling me is, hey, Tom, you just put in a section and you don't have them turned on. So I'm not going to show it to you. That's all that's saying. So part of learning Revit is decoding these things. Now, what that did right there would be enough for us. When I first started Revit, it was like, oh no, I screwed up. Everything's awful, you know, but that's not the case. What happened right there is you're just telling me, hey, you can't see it right now. So how do I see it? What you do is, remember we talked about that in Revit, there is a view graphics feature that's analogous to working with your layers. So if I type in VV opens this up right here. Now, what I want to see right now are my annotation categories. So when I look at my annotation categories going down here, you can guess what I want. I want to see my sections. Now look at my sections. Guess what? They're not checked. So yeah, Revit was right. I couldn't see it because I didn't make it. So it's like telling you just drew something on a layer that's turned off. That's what it's telling you. So we go to here, turn on the sections, and watch this. I'll click apply and watch what happens. Click apply, and boom, there they are. So I've actually got 2 of them. I think I put one in last. I might have put one in last week. I don't know, but there they are. Oop, and I didn't keep it. So I'll keep it in there. Go back to here. I hit apply, but then I didn't hit OK. You got to hit OK for it to take the change. So go here. I'm going to go to apply and hit OK. So I've got that right there. And now we have that. Now this one I don't need, and that one I don't need. So I'll get rid of that. And I'll say, yes, we'll get rid of that. Now this one right here, I'll click on this. Now watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to, now whenever you want to open up one of these, I'm going to double click right here and watch what happens. Boom, boom. And it opens this up. That's just showing right now. Well, I don't need all that. That's way more than I need. So what I would do is I have to go back and I have to change the size of that. So the easiest way to do this is in level 1. I click on this, and here is the area right here. So I just take this and I can go ahead and make it quite a bit smaller. And like this right here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this back to just see what I've got right here, just to give me a chunk of the roof right here. I'm going to look at a section. If I cut the roof right here, what would I see? Let's see if that's any better. Let's see if that's any better. I hope it is. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. So I've got that right there. So then when I've got that, that gives me a decent starting point. You might say, well, hey, it doesn't look like yours, like your final section at all. That's right. I've got to put some details in here. So you do this and you got to go back to being 2D. But guess what? You guys have learned AutoCAD, so you are in good position because it's the same type of tools. So now, first of all, what I don't need is I don't need to see these levels. So I can click on one of these levels, and when you want to hide something, you click on it, and then you right click, and then you can go to hide in view, and then you can choose out of the element, this particular element, or all the categories. So if I just say elements, that means it will hide just this level. If I say category, it'll hide all the levels. So I click on category, hides all of them. So that's a starting point. Now this is what I've got to start with, okay?
Professor?
Yeah.
So when you hide something, how do you bring it back?
To bring it back, okay, what you would do then is VV, and then what you would do is you go back to what you just hid. And what I just hid was the category of levels, which is an annotation. So I'd go down here, and I'd go ahead and down here, and I'd find my levels, and I'd go to here, and I'd turn them back on, apply. It's like turning layers on and off in AutoCAD. Does that make sense?
Okay, so you're not really hiding it, you're more just turning it off.
Yeah, you're hiding it. You're hiding it temporarily. You're not deleting it. You're just temporarily saying, I don't want to see this right now.
Okay.
Yep. And so, yeah, and so it's very flexible, very, very flexible. And so you've got that right there. So now notice that down here, you've got this nice hatch pattern here already. Why does it have a nice hatch pattern? Because we made it out of concrete. So therefore it automatically knows it, and that comes through, okay, which is kind of cool. Now, let me show you something kind of interesting here. I'm going to leave this right here, and you'll see you got these lines right here. Well, over here, if I click on this, I've got coarse, medium, refined. Watch what happens if I hit coarse. When I click on coarse, all that goes away. So that means if you use the coarse option, you'll be missing detail. So when you're making your details, you want to go down here and you want to make sure you turn this up to fine. Okay, that gives you a good starting point for all these. Okay, now if I go here, I could actually go here and say, okay, let's see what else I've got here. I'm going to go to consistent colors. And then now it's looking like, oh, okay, that's making a whole lot more sense. I'm seeing what's going on with this. Okay, that really helps. So these are things that are out there to help you to kind of orient yourself and see what's going on. I'm going to leave with hidden line because this is the view I actually have to finally produce. Okay, so now I have this. So how do I get these other details in here? Well, there's a few things that you can do here that are actually pretty simple. Okay, so let me go back to here and we will take a look at them. So look at this wall section right here. You've got this. And let's take a look at what we have here. So first of all, you've got a few things that are going on. You've got down here, you've actually got a stud down here. It's actually a bottom plate is what we call it. And you got an anchor bolt right here. Well, where do those come from? Well, that is content that you can get out of Revit. Revit actually has this. It's called detail content, and you actually would look for it in Revit under your detail content, and that's kind of a little bit different story. We're not going to get into that, but I actually have included this in your particular template, so we could go ahead and put those in there right now. So I'll put in this bottom plate, which is right here, and I'll put in this anchor bolt. So let's go do that. So to do that, I go back over here to this section 1, and I will go ahead and put those in. So I'll go ahead and zoom in here, and I'm going to zoom down to the bottom here. Now, when I zoom down to the bottom, I should say scroll down to the bottom, I'm going to look here under, let's see here, where is this information here? Okay, under here, under detail items, I'll click on the plus sign under detail items. And under detail items, you see these things right here. You've got nominal cut lumber. Okay, right here, I got a 2x4. That's what this is. That's what this. You got 2x6s. You got 2x8s. I'll just show you what happens when I put in a 2x6. So if I grab a 2x6 and I pull this in, check this out. Here's your 2x6. I hit my space bar and it rotates it. Okay. Now, in this particular case, it's too big because it doesn't fit inside the wall cavity. So I don't want a 2x6. What I want is a 2x4. So I grab the 2x4 and pull that in, and same kind of a thing. I pull it in right here. I hit my space bar and I pull it down here and I can drop it. Drops it right in place right there. When I got that, that is now in place. So now you got that at the bottom. Pretty easy. Okay, now the other thing you got here are some other items. Okay, up here you got anchor bolts. And the one I want is the anchor bolt side 3/4. Okay, anchor bolt side 3/4. Now this one, actually, I want the one with the hook. Let me see if I got the hook one. Anchor bolt, yeah, anchor bolt hook side, 3/4 anchor bolt hook side. So I'm gonna pull this in, watch what happens. This comes in like this. I'm gonna go ahead and take this, I'm gonna drop it right here at the center point as best I can. Might need to realign a little bit. I'll go ahead and drop it there. Now, once that's in place, I can click on it, and then I can move it around just by using my arrow keys, okay? And that is a standardized anchor bolt right there. That's actually something that would come out of like your CSI, or rather your IFC, your industry foundation classes. So you got that right there. So you got that right there, and that's in place. And now you have this, okay? So once you have that in place, then you could actually click on this and say, you know what, I need a little bit longer hook, or maybe I could make it a little bit longer this way. You know, I could make it deeper. I could actually make the actual hook longer. So these are things you can do right there. So I've got that. So now that's embedded nicely. I've got that right there. So that's secured. So those are things that I just placed in here, and they're totally 2D. There's nothing 3D about those. They do not appear over in the model. So watch this. If I go back over to the model, are they there? Heck no, they're not there. Okay, because I'm just drawing them in my section view here. So go to my section view. So in my section view right here, what else do I want to do? Well, one of the things that you're going to see over here is insulation. Insulation is this pattern right here. We saw how to do this in AutoCAD. Revit is equally as easy. So what we do right here is we just have to know where to look. So where you want to look is under annotate, and then you have right over here insulation. Hey, okay. So click on insulation and watch what and we go ahead and touch on this, and I'm going to go ahead and take this, and I can go ahead and pick a point like right here and pull it straight up. All right, so go ahead and pull it straight up. I'm going to go all the way up to the top, and I'll pull it down later. But I've got that right there. Look at that right there. Looks good, looks good. And if it's a little bit overlapped, I can go ahead and select it. Tab, 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 okay. Then I hit my arrow key to shove it over a little bit if I need to.
Is the hatching for insulation the same no matter what?
Yeah, and that's actually, yes, that's your standard bat symbol.
Okay.
Yep, that's standard. Okay, now that we've done that, we've done a lot of the work already. There's not that in this custom garage. I deliberately made this simple. I simplified it. I didn't put in every detail that you might put into something like this, just because I didn't want to overwhelm you guys, and I didn't want to give you just busy work. I just thought, well, I'll just show you the basic ideas right here so that you know what you're looking at, so you can get a job doing Revit someday if you choose to. But anyway, that's how we go ahead with that. Now, next thing I want to show you is there's a couple things up here that are a little bit interesting. And that is up here at the top. Up here at the top of this right here, if I back out of here, I've got that. I will have to put these two top plates in. We've got that. But you're going to notice I've got this right here. I've got this. Okay, this is like a joist. And then over here, I've got this right here. Well, what is that? If I hover my cursor over it, it is what is called a masking region. Well, what the hell is a masking region? A masking region is like taking a sticky note and putting it on a Post-it note and putting it on your screen so you can't see what's underneath it. That's what that's for, to hide stuff, okay? And in this particular case, you're actually hiding the stud, so it actually goes right through to here. That's actually what you want it to look like. So what I would do is back over here, I would place one right at the end of this. I'd go ahead and continue this over. So watch this. So to do this, I would go ahead and go to my annotate, and I got region. I've got a filled region, and I got a masking region. Okay, so if I go to masking region, this is just going to be blank. Okay, now there's going to be a video that shows how to do this here. So the video shows how you can go ahead and make a masking region. So you go ahead and click on one point, click another point, and boom, it will give you a mask, and it looks like that then. It actually covers it. It includes it. So I'll go to my masking region here, and I'm going to go ahead and start. And how do I want to go ahead and go here from here, straight across, and I want to stop here, and I'm going to go up to here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue on right up to here. Oh, I don't have my chain going on, or I do. Yeah, okay, good. And then I'll go ahead and I'll go up to here, and then I'll go ahead and pull it down to this here. And when I've done that, I'll hit my green check mark, and lines must be in loops. Okay, so continue. All right, so I'll go ahead and do this. I'll go ahead and do this and do that, see if it likes it. Green check mark. All right, and there it is right there. So that is what we have right there. And that is how that looks. Now, here's kind of a flippy thing about Revit. You're noticing as I'm zooming in and out, that line kind of comes and goes. Well, I hit it. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but you know, that's just kind of how it does. It's kind of how it rolls. Now over here, I think I went a little too far. I actually want to have my, let's see here. How far over do I want to have that? Okay, that's there. Let's see here. How far? Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and I've got that there. Okay, I've got that hidden, and then I've got a couple other things I've got to do here. So part of this now is I'm going to take this, I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to make another one. I'm going to make another region, I'm going to make another filled region here. And this one's going to be a rectangle. I'm just going to go ahead and pick on this point here. And I'm going to go ahead and go over here and we'll do this like that. And hit my green check mark. We'll see how that comes out. Okay. And that gave me a filled region, which is what I didn't want. I wanted actually a masking region. So that was an error. So I want to use a masking region. Okay. So we'll try that again. All right. So I'll go to make it a masking region. Masking region. And I'll make this a rectangle. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pick a point here. And I'll go ahead and go over here like that and hit the green check mark like that. And that is my green, it's my masking region. And I'm going to go ahead and bring to front. Okay, there we have that. Okay, so now we have that. Now, that's looking pretty good. This insulation, I'm just going to go ahead and pull it down a little bit so that it's down here. All right, so now it's starting to look, more like what I want it to look like. So it's there. Now I need to continue this line over because it actually goes over. So I'll go here, and that is what is called a detail line. Detail line, let me go back to it, annotate a detail line right here. And I can click on it, and then I can actually begin to draw it. And I'll go here, and I'll just go ahead and draw my detail line from here on over and click from there to there. Okay, I do the same thing here, go from there to there, and then I do the same thing from here to here. And this is how I go ahead and carry this information over. And then what I would do is I could actually go ahead and continue this hatch pattern over here, or not. In this case, I'm just going to leave it. But that is how we go ahead. Now you can see it's looking like a more useful view right here. So you've got that right there. Now, as I've got that right there, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my my studs at the top. So I'll go ahead and grab a stud and put it up here like this, and I'll hit my key like there, and then I'll go ahead and put another one here and drop this down here like this, like that, and we'll do that. And when I've got that, that is what we've got in place right there. So we got that happening, and that is what is going on there. So we have that going on right there. Okay, so that is what is happening right there, and that is how we actually are seeing that. And then I could go ahead and get rid of this too. Actually, keeps on kind of coming out and so forth. So if I really want to hide it, I could go to masking region. I could just like say, you know what, I'm sick of you. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to make a random thing like this. Okay, let's make sure that we cover this thing up. And you could do this just to be sure, and hit the green check mark. And it looks like that then. Okay, so you can go back and do that kind of thing. And then you got a few things like this. And so, yeah. Okay, so when you got that, that is the basics of how you would go ahead and do that. Then it's just a question of putting in your text. Okay, now one other thing I'm going to tell you is down at the bottom of this over here wall section is you're going to notice down here that it's got a scale. 1 inch equals 1 foot. That's important to remember. So this is actually 3/32 aerial, and this is one inch equals 1 foot. So I'm going to go back here and make the scale 1 inch equals 1 foot so that my dimensions go in right. So 1 inch equals 1 foot right there. And then I'm going to start to put in my text. So I click on text, and then this is where I can begin to put in my leaders. So I can go to here, and these just go through the basics that we've seen before. And I'll just go up here and I'll click here and I'll say pull this down here. And I'll go ahead and click there and go like this and type in asphalt shingles, okay, with all caps, asphalt shingles, like that. Shiggles, all right, not sure shiggles is a word. So there we go, asphalt shingles like that. Okay, so I've got that. All right, now once I've got that, it looks like this, and that is what I'd want it to look like. So I can click on that. And if it's too large, I'd go here and make it 3/32 aerial. That's what I want to do. And then I can just continue to put these in. I could copy them, whatever else I might want to do. So I could just copy this. I could click on this and say, hey, let's copy this. Let's make a few of these. So I'll click here and all right. And then I could go ahead and make additional copies if I wanted to. I could just go ahead and go copy and say multiple like this. You go ahead and click on this, and I just go ahead and click on a few, and then just go ahead and go through here. And then when I do this, this just gives me some starting points. I can just go ahead and fill them in. So I got asphalt shingles, and then the next thing would be 1/2 inch plywood. So I double click on this and just edit that, say 1/2 inch plywood, like that. And then the next one would be 2x6 pre-engineered attic trusses. Okay, 2x6 pre-engineered. Oh, not working. Okay, so 2 by 6. For some reason not working. Okay, so 2 by 6 pre-engineered like that. Okay, so then you got that in place. Okay, so then we got that. Now, one thing I was going to point out is there's a rectangle around the exterior of this. That is from what is known as your crop region. Your crop region is located, let me kind of show that to you. Crop region is actually located right here. And I'm going to grab that. Crop region actually located down here. You'll notice that there are some tools under your visual, your viewing aids, your visual styles down here. And one of them is this one right here. This turns on and off your crop region. So watch what happens when I click on that. When I click on that, it gives me a toggle. Turns it on, turns it off. You want it off because we're not going to use that. Excuse me. All right. So that is how we would go about putting this together. And that is how we'd go ahead and create this. And then there may be some things in here we'd have to fix. I'm sure what's going on there, but that's okay. We could go ahead and fix that, but you get the idea. I'm not going to do every detail on here. I'm just going to show you the basics. So you've got that. Now, what do I do with this? So once I've got this in place, how do I fix this? Well, what I would do then is once that's done, here's what I would do next. Then the next thing I would do is I would begin to create my sheets. Okay, so how do I make my sheets? Well, first of all, a lot of these are probably already done for you because the way I did this. But down at the bottom, you're going to notice that you've got your sheets. Okay, you got your sheets down here. So I've got sheets, my plus side is sheets. And so let's take a look at what we have. So the first one is a cover sheet. I go to here and I open that up. And I'm just going to open it up and let's see what's going on there. So here's my cover sheet. Now, your custom garage can be any 3D view that you want, okay? Or you can actually make a view. You can actually save a view of it. Okay, so let me show you how you do that. So if I want to do that, I could go to my 3D view up here and I could get my garage like this and I could get it into a nice position like this. I could do this. And then what I could do is, let's see here, how do I make I can actually turn that into how do I do that? There's a way to do that. I could actually do a few different ways to do this. You can do just simply a screen capture and then drop it in there. You could do that. I think there's actually also another way, but I'm not gonna get into all that. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna cheat. I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna use this right here. This is called your snipping tool. Have you guys ever used a snipping tool?
Yep.
That's a yes. Okay. So I'll use the snipping tool. I'm just going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a new one. Going to make a new snip, and I'll go here and I'll go like this, and I'll go like that. I'll go like that. And when I've got that, I'll save it. File, save as, and I'm going to save it to the desktop. And I'm just going to go ahead and call it. Is that going to the desktop? I think it is. Nope, it's going there. I don't want to go there. Desktop, and I'm going to go ahead and call it a custom garage. Okay, so I've got that. So now that that's in place right here, what I could do is when I go into my sheets, I go back to my cover sheet. What I would do is I want to insert that. So how would I do that? Well, I would insert that by going up here to insert, and I could insert up here a particular item right here. What I want to do is I want to grab an imported image. So I go to import an image. You can guess where I'm going to go now. I'll go to my desktop and to my desktop, and I'm going to go ahead and find that file I just made. Let's see here. Where is it? Looking, unless it's saved as the wrong type.
I think it's like at the bottom there. Yeah.
Yep, there it is. So I've got that. I'm going to go ahead and drop it right here. And you can make it larger or smaller. I'm just going to drop it there. So that's your custom garage. So that's done. You could also just pull in a view, but that's another story. So now as I go through these others, I go to A1 first floor plan. And okay, now what I got right here is I don't see anything. Okay. So the first thing, I don't need this. That's got to go away. And I'm going to go here and I'm going to pull in this view. So over here, I'm level 1 right now. Watch what I do. I pull in this view right like this. Okay. And I go ahead and drop it right there. And it drops it right inside there. Okay, so that goes ahead and drops it. Now, at this point, the the view around here is a little bit large, so I want to make sure that my scales are all correct. Okay, so what I'm going to do is go back to here, and on my set of sheets right here, let me go back to this. I'm going to go back to, okay, that's the one I think I just worked on, so I'm going to go ahead and move this out of the way. So let me go back to this one. Okay, so this one right here, what I want to check is how these worked out here. So I'm going to go to my A0 cover sheet, right? Come on, you. The cover sheet, this one, it looks like that right there. And then you got first floor plan, looks like this right here. So this one is actually at 3/8 of an inch equals a foot. So that's the size of it. So I'd have to make sure that mine is the same thing. So go back to here and make sure that mine is 3/8 of an inch equals a foot. And right now it's looking like this right now. It might be. So if that is the case, then I could actually do a little bit of work on this. Make sure that my crop region is nice and tight. So I'll go here and turn on my crop region like this and pull this up and pull along like this so that it looks like this. And when we do this, we can kind of pull along like this, and then that's 3/8 of an inch equals a foot. So we should be okay with that right there. So that should be okay. So now that I have that, I'm going to go over here to my, over here to my first floor plan, see how that looks now. Okay, so there's my first floor plan. There we have it. I'm going to take this, I'm going to pull along here. Now that I've done this, it's looking good. I don't want my crop region on, but that's another story. I can go ahead and I can click on this. When I click on this, I can actually pull this, and I can just go ahead and pull it right up underneath here. Okay, so there's an interesting thing about these. These are like called your view title. So I click on this. If I want to change this, I click on the edge of the view, and it gives me this ability to drag this over. That's clicking the edge of a view. That's clicking the edge of the view. So if I double click inside here, I can actually go ahead and work with this, and I can go ahead and do this kind of a thing inside here. This is like going into paper space when you're with AutoCAD, but I'm going to turn that off. I don't want to go into the weeds too much, but we've got that. I'm going to double click out here. Now, when I've done that, you've got this kind of a view here. Now, there's a couple things. My doors are not showing up, so they're being truncated for some reason. Not sure why that is. Let's see here. Why would that be? Doors are not being seen. Why would that be? All right.
The measurements on the garage door side aren't showing up either.
Yep, I think I might have pulled it too far. So let me go ahead and I'll just go ahead and do this. I'll double click inside of here again and show this, and I'll do this. And then what I'll do is I'll pull it out a little bit, and wrong way. And we'll go ahead and pull this up a little bit. Yeah, I went too far. Okay, so I got that. I'll go ahead and pull this out a little bit like that. And as we do this, we should be able to see all the dimensions that we need to see. Okay, so I can pull this around here. Then I've got that. Okay, that's better. And then I can go ahead and turn them off like that. And then you got something like that. So that's better. Now at this point, I need to turn off a couple things here. So if I go to VV, I could actually turn off the section view, which I don't need anymore. So I go to the section view down here. I can get to that later, but I'll go ahead and turn it off. So go to sections, turn that off. Now watch what happens when I do this. I click apply, and it goes away. Okay, if you can see that, try that again. I'll go to sections. All right, sections. Go to here and hit apply. There it is. And then I uncheck it. And I apply it. And you can't see that anymore. And then my elevations are also my elevation markers. I don't want those. So go to elevations, go here, hit apply, and hit OK. So what I just did there is I turned those off to clean it up a little bit. So this is what the sheet looks like. And then when I'm done, I double click outside of it. So this is what you got right here. And that is looking pretty much like my other sheet. You could then take it, and then you could just use your arrow keys and move it around so it fits on the sheet nicely. And you'll notice that it's 3/8 of an inch, so we're good to go. So that's sheet number one. And all the sheets are going to go in just like that. It's lather, rinse, repeat with all of them. So you just got to go here to the second floor plan, same kind of a thing. So I go up here, I go to my second floor, level 2. I grab this and I pull it onto here. All right, so I pull it onto here and I drop it. And that one looks pretty good, just as it is right there. I need to turn off my dimensions. I'm not going to get into that. Well, if I want to get rid of the dimensions, I could double click inside of here, VV, and I could turn off, or I could erase the dimensions. I could go ahead and erase those. Or I could turn them off here, dimensions, and hit apply, and hit OK. So I could do it either way, or I could delete them. But that's what that looks like when I'm done. 3/8 of an inch. That one's pretty much done. And then I go to my footing, which is here. And I'm going to go to the sheet that's associated with that. Sheet is down here. It is called foundation plan. I go into here and I'm going to pull that over. So this is my footing. So I grab my footing and I drag it over to here and I drop it. And that one looks pretty good. All right, so that's good there. Okay. Next thing that we want to work with is our elevations. So our elevations are on a sheet that is called elevations, which is right here. So I go to elevations and I don't see them there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull them in one at a time. So I go up here to my east, I'll click on east and pull it up to here, and we'll go ahead and drop it right there. And that's how that should be. And then I'll grab the others. And you'll notice that these, I've already set these up in such a way as to keep you from having any issues. Let me go back to my elevations. Okay, so I've got, okay, wrong one. Okay, so I pulled this one in. So now that I've got that one, I'm going to pull the others in. So I'm going to go over here, going to go to north and pull this one in like this. And when I pull it in, you're going to notice that it tries to align itself with the other ones, which is totally fine. We could readjust it later, but that's fine. Then we go to south and we go ahead and pull this over here. South will fit nicely under here like that. And then west would go here. And we go ahead and take the views and we would go ahead and we would align these as we see right here. So you got those. Okay, so now that you've got those in place, what you would do is you would align them. Like this one is a little bit low because it's not really aligning with the roof right there. So sometimes it'll pick up what you got there. It'll kind of, yeah, there it is right there. And that's what you want. So now those are aligned. Go ahead and pull this over a little bit. But you'll notice that this bit under here is not. So this is actually the view title. I'm going to move that down like that. Okay. And do that. And then at this point, we're looking pretty good. And then at this point, I think these are pretty well aligned, aren't they? How are we doing there? I think we're pretty good there. So go ahead and leave that there. And we'll go ahead and I clicked on the wrong one. All right. Yeah, okay, this is the one I've been working on. And then what I can do is if these are too long, I can actually click on this right here and there's a little circle here and I can pull it over and that will pull all of them over like this. So this is where you could actually do some refinement and so forth, but that's what the sheet should look like. And so a lot of this, it's not gonna be hard because you're just gonna pull the view onto the sheet and everything's been prepared for you. Next thing is, the last thing is your wall section, which is right here. And the wall section is exactly what we've been working with. So the wall section was the section view that, let's see here, we kind of pulled that together and it would be right here on this right here, and you got section one. So I'm gonna take section one and pull it in here. I'm gonna drop it right in this location here. I might need to change a little bit, but I go ahead and click and drop it there, and that's what that's gonna look like. Now, when you're done there, you can go ahead and click on the, you can go ahead and change the size of it by going through here and adjusting the crop region so that it actually is a little bit tighter into the actual section, which is good practice. And we can go ahead and move this up a little bit. And then what I'm going to do, oh, wrong way, didn't want to do that. So I can go ahead and grab this whole thing and I don't want to do that. Okay, so I'll go ahead and go out to here and I'll grab this and I will use my arrow keys and move it up like that. Okay, now once I've got it like that, I'm going to go like this, and I've got this in place right here. You got section one, you got that, and I'm going to go ahead and take it and pull it, and I can go ahead and move it from side to side like this. I can also click on the edge of this, and when I click on the edge of it, I can actually pull the right handle over. Okay, so I've got that, and it looks like I missed it by a little bit here. So I can go here, and I can change it and pull it down just a hair to see that, and we are good to go. And once I've got that, we've got the basics right there. And then I just want to turn off the crop region by going in here and turning that off. Okay, so you turn that off, and now that's what that sheet should look like. So you got that. Now the last thing is your schedules. Now schedules are something that are automatically generated. And so let's take a look and see if we have any. So you got a door schedule right here. So I'm gonna grab my door schedule and pull this up to here. And that looks really good already. So go ahead and drop that there, and we'll grab the window schedule, which is right here. Window schedule. We'll grab this and pull this in here as well. So you got these two, and they go ahead and they align like that. So once you've done it, that is how you put a set of construction plans together. So I put some things in there. That's basically it though right now. So it's a pretty straightforward process. And I deliberately left it so that we did most of the work last week and I left a little bit of light stuff for this week. So that's what we have right there. So the rest of this is just kind of like getting it refined. And you may have to watch this video once or twice to see it and kind of understand it, but I showed you how to do different basic things. And that is how we go ahead and do it. So when you're done, what you're going to do is when you're done with this whole thing, you're going to submit this custom garage project. Okay, it's got to be in before class next week. And that's it. You should have had most of it done already. And then over here, you can change your name too. I'll just go ahead and show you this right here. So if you go ahead and double click in here, you can go ahead and change that to your name. So instead of it being Brennan Corp, you'd put in your name, like Kugler Corp or Taver Day Corp or Greenman Corp or whatever it might be. And so you'd want to go ahead and do or O'Brien. So you put your name in there, just customize it, okay? And then also you can customize it down here as being drawn by you and checked by somebody else, you know? And that is how you go ahead and do that. So that's all I have for tonight. And that I deliberately wanted to go a little bit light because we went heavy last week and there's a good amount here. So all this is great foundation type stuff. And so if you go here, you can actually do this and just get your sheets all looking good. So I've got this, I've got this, got this, got this. Okay, got this. Okay, and then we got this. And then we got this. Okay, so you have your sheets. And then at the end of it, you can actually print these up. You can print these up and you'd have a complete set of sheets, just like the ones I gave you at the beginning of class, which is the goal. So that is what we have right there. That's all I have for this week right now. So I'm just going to stop the video right now. And that is where I'm going to park it right now. And we'll go ahead and, okay, you guys just stop this. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so go here and I'll go to share. Can you guys see my screen again?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna stop the